So you decided to enter the PC Master Race, but don't have a whole lot of spending money? Then this video is for you. Bask now in what I like to present to you as the sub $250 gaming PC. So first things first is the computer itself. This is a small form factor Dell Optiplex 780. You can typically find these on eBay for about $50, link in the description below, but I managed to get this for a whopping $0. And the reason for that is because I literally saved it from the trash heap, because my previous employer was planning to throw this into the bin simply because the hard drive died. So after a few conversations and a few pleas, I managed to pry it off of their hands, and within the weekend, it was up and running like it was brand new. Next up is the GeForce GT 1030. You can get these for about $120, although I was able to pick this up for $100. Well, who me? But it is a low profile, single slot, low power GPU that is perfect for this configuration, and is also a great pairing for the Intel Core 2 Quad Q6600 that I managed to get for $10. And as you can see on this bottleneck calculator image that I'm showing you right now, yields on paper no bottleneck whatsoever. So rock on! And finally, we come to the RAM. Now, usually these ship at 4 gigs of RAM, but this particular one for some reason only had 2. And as you can see on this video right now, just sitting in the Windows desktop was nearly sucking up all of the RAM. And even playing a game such as Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is not very demanding at all, yielded the entire thing unplayable with massive stuttering everywhere. So, eBay to the rescue once again. We managed to find an 8GB kit of RAM that was listed as being compatible with this Dell Optiplex 780. So that should eliminate the stuttering issue that we were having. So let's get into it and see exactly what this sub $250 gaming PC has to offer. Okay, so after a couple of quick complications, we are finally set up. Here is the system, waiting to be tested. And as you can see on the screen up here, all 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM is installed. So let's go ahead and see exactly what this sub $250 gaming PC has to offer. I actually suggest that we might as well start with Counter-Strike Global Offensive, considering how we saw its performance in the past clip. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so here we are in game for Counter-Strike Global Offensive in a bot match. And as you can see, the stuttering has ceased to exist thanks to the 8 gigs of RAM that has been installed in the system. However, we do face another limitation, and that is the fact that we are still getting the exact same amount of FPS as we were before. So, while unfortunately it didn't actually improve the amount of FPS that we were getting, it did improve the stability, which makes the CSGO on this configuration somewhat playable. And check it out, it's not even jittery at all. And look at the ground. Yeah, getting close to the 60s, and that was actually far from the 60s. Oh well. So now let's move on to something a little bit newer. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. And with a mixture of medium and high settings, we're actually achieving anywhere between 30 and 40 frames a second, sometimes going even higher than that. And that's very impressive for this kind of configuration. There's also no stutter indicated. But I kind of feel we could do a little bit better than that. So let's go ahead and quickly drop some of these settings down to the mediums. Okay, so I didn't exactly get to achieve the goal that I was hoping for. However, the numbers are still pretty impressive for this configuration. A Core 2 Quad Q6600 and a GT 1030 will run Metal Gear Solid 5 at a mixture of medium and high settings at 1080p, over 30 frames a second. So rock on with that. Now let's move on to something scarier. Ooh, Resident Evil 7. Oh my god, no! Oh, no! Get up me, you freak! No! Yeah, take that, fire in the face, fire in the face! Yeah, there you go. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. Resident Evil 7 at low settings with medium quality texture filtering, we seem to be getting an average of 45 and 50 frames a second, which is pretty impressive considering that the minimum system requirements for this game is definitely not a Core 2 Quad Q6600 and a GT 1030. And the fact we're getting these frame rates at all at 1080p is very impressive. So if you want to have a horrifying experience, as well as a good horrifying experience, then Resident Evil 7 on this configuration will definitely have you covered. And finally, we have the newest game as well as the most demanding game on the list, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We had to have everything turned down to 720p and the low settings to get somewhat playable frame rates, however. But even then, the game still looks pretty good. And as you can tell, we're just running the benchmark instead of playing the actual game, but doing this, it will tell us our minimum, maximum, and average frame rate of what we get throughout the entire thing. Okay, so according to the benchmark, we got an average FPS of 25, which isn't great, but at the same time, it isn't bad. But it is something just to keep in the back of your mind. So now, the conclusion. Is this sub $250 gaming PC worth it? Well, it kind of depends on your situation. If you don't mind sacrificing some graphic fidelity in order to achieve some more playable frame rates, then this may be the way to go for you. Or if you're on a very tight budget and you can't go over the $300 budget, then again, this might be the way to go for you. But if you don't have any of those limitations, personally, I would definitely go the other direction, spend a little bit more to get something that's a bit newer as well as a more enjoyable experience. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope this video helped you out a lot, and if it did, leave a comment down below. But for now, like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will catch you in the next video. So long!